This episode is part of a short series of interviews with young filmmakers who are making their mark on the film industry. Their ages may vary, as well as their roles and the journey that brought them to where they are. They can be an inspiration to all of us, and especially to an even younger generation of aspiring filmmakers coming behind them.
This is the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast, helping filmmakers who share a Christian worldview stay in touch, informed, and inspired. Quiet on set. Rolling. Today's host is Matt Chastain.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast. It is I, Matt Chastain, but more importantly, I'm on the line with an old friend of mine, Mr. Zach Tonkins. Zach, thank you for joining us today on the podcast, man.
Hey, what's up, Matt? Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Look, dude, I'll tell you why I really wanted to talk to you, and I think I've wanted to have a conversation with you before I was even blessed to be asked to kind of host this podcast along with Jeff and Jacqueline. So years ago, I think I met you guys maybe back in 2019.
Yeah, I believe it was.
ICFF. You did not have a beard and a mustache then. You were significantly younger.
Yes.
I was going to ICFF, and I think a buddy of mine, Philip Bloom, had known your parents and said, yeah, you got to make sure you meet the Tonkins. And there you were, man, this super excited, happy, enthusiastic little guy. And then I've run into you several times, but we became Facebook friends. It's just like you do on Facebook. I've gotten to kind of watch your career as you post things. And I'm so impressed by the fact that you were a young guy, as a lot of people are, and you seem to have gotten into the industry and really done things the right way. And I'm so impressed by where you've come. So let's start off. I want to go back. That's just my relation to you. When did you get kind of interested in your whole family, really? Because if you go to any conference, you're going to see the Tonkins. They're the people, you'll recognize them with red hair and giant smiles. That's the Tonkin family. So tell me, how did you and your family kind of really get interested in and really passionate about filmmaking?
Thank you, first of all. And I would say film has always been something ever since, honestly, I think the first time I asked my parents to be in film was when I was like 5 years old, watching movies. And my mom had previous minor experience in Hollywood. And she was like, it's a phase. Let's let this thing pass. Let's not entertain this.
You're 5. Here's some Legos, kid.
Yes. Legos were a great distraction when I was 5. But yes. So then remember I would ask again. I think my mom said I was 12 again when I asked. And she was a little bit more like, okay, he's still asking. Maybe I should do some research. And by the time I was 15, which was 16, when I was 2019, when I started attending these conferences, that's when my mom was looking on Facebook and the internet. She's like, okay, how can we break into the Christian film industry? Because that would be more of a safe space than Hollywood, that's for sure. Then we started attending ICFF, Christian Worldview, also that year, as well as I think Content was the other one we tried that year. Those were all great. And I would say, yeah, if you're wanting to get into the Christian film industry, go meet people at conferences. It's a great place to meet people. And then once you go to the conferences, friend everybody on Facebook and Instagram, because as you said, it's a great way to keep engaged and keep in contact with everybody.
I mean, clearly it works. I get that question all the time. My kid wants to be involved in film. How do I get him involved? And it's not an easy answer. I think a lot of them think that I know one person in film. I'll send them a Facebook message, and next thing I know, my kid's involved. But you guys, your family really seems to have committed to this for you as a 15-year-old kid and after, right?
Yeah, I've been super blessed to have my parents' full support, and they have helped me. I mean, obviously, I couldn't do this without them. They have pushed me. And then when I have felt like I feel like I can't do this anymore, my mom and my dad have helped me, have pushed me to achieve the things that were possible.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, as a parent, you don't want to push your kid beyond their comfort level or into something they don't love.
Right.
But if they love it and they just need that extra little boost, I guess that's probably what Jeff and Christina are your parents,
yes.
Right? Yeah. Jeff and Christina have done such a great job of that with you. But also, like you said, attending the conferences.
Yeah.
Here's what I was blown away. How did you, as a 15-year-old kid, how were you able to go to ICFF and walk up to just anybody there? I was so impressed because you would shake my hand and smile and look me in the eye, just better than half the adults there in the room. You were a better networker than half the adults. So is that just from you? Both of your parents are so dadgum enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Is that where you kind of learned it from?
I would give credit to my parents 100% for that. They would definitely be like, especially when I was younger and going up to meet people, they would be like, okay, here's how this is going to go. Here's what you're going to do to not be the shy kid in the corner, which is what I was before I was 15.
But your whole family really is involved, right? Because I think I'm Facebook friends with all four of you. But are you all on Treasure Coast roster?
So me and Alexis are on Treasure Coast roster. Me and Alexis like the front side of the camera, as well as I like the behind the scenes a lot.
Alexis, for those who don't know her, is your little sister, right?
Yes, she's my sister that's 2 years younger. Yeah, and she's an actress and baker is what she does.
Oh,
and she's
cool.
fantastic at both. My mom has done acting in the past, but she has found that she likes producing and directing more. So that's what she's pursuing, is directing and producing.
Yeah. Hey, man, a mom is a producer anyway. That's what they do. They manage the unmanageable.
Yeah.
So I bet she's great at that. Yeah, so your two kind of loves are as an actor in front of the camera, but where I've been as impressed as any is watching your work that you post as a DP. I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 21.
Oh my gosh, I got shoes older than you. But like your work as a DP, I've watched it from the beginning. I've always been impressed by not only your artistic ability, but the fact that you dove right in and you're working with high-end video gear. How does that come about? How are you able to get such opportunities in production?
Well, yeah, I've been really blessed. Again, with my parents, I have to give credit. So we were talking to people at these conferences, Joth Riggs being one of them, and we were really wanting to discuss, is college for everyone when you're pursuing the film industry? And for some people, it definitely is. And for others, sometimes college isn't the correct route for you. And for me, it wasn't the correct route, as I spent my time on YouTube, as there's so much on YouTube, and networking at these conferences and talking to people on conferences, getting a little bit on set. And honestly, through the first 2 years of going to the conferences, networking with people, I would come on the set as volunteers. So come on for free just to get on set experience, meet more people on set. And since I wasn't going to college, I'm really kind of getting to go to college for free by, well, not completely for free, but by going on to these sets without pay and just being able to learn by observing.
Networking. I mean, there's no better ways to network than on set, right?
Doing it with your hands instead of having to be in a classroom. I would say I would definitely suggest that route. It's not for everybody, but I think would certainly be a great route for a lot of people.
You have to be entrepreneurial. You have to be driven in order to go get your own education rather than paying someone to force it upon you, so to speak.
Right. You have to. I was definitely pushed to get out of my comfort zone many times, to go up to people and be like, hey, can I help you with this? I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe you could show me if you have time, and I could be an extra set of hands. And then from one department to another, you just get to learn more and be a help at the same time.
I really hope that you guys listening to this will kind of maybe put a bookmark in this episode, because there's odds are people come to you and say, how do I get my kid involved, right? And you could just copy this link and send the link to this episode to that person, because I think Zach is the exact example of how it is, because you started off with your parents teaching you how to behave at conferences and how to network. And then you did that. You did successfully. You got to know everybody you could. You started volunteering on set. And this is the big thing. If you want to be a person who gets hired over and over again, starting out by volunteering is great, but it's what Zach just alluded to. It's the attitude that you approach set life with. When you go to set life with that attitude of, what can I do to help? Which seems to be the attitude that you approached it with. Did you feel that attitude is kind of what helps springboard you on to kind of the next level?
Oh, absolutely. And that is, I give credit to Joth Riggs for that.
He's a legend, by the way.
Yeah, if you don't know who Joth Riggs is, he is a fantastic first AD.
Oh.
And he's doing amazing things. And he told me, if you're going to go on set, you have to be ambitious enough and willing to help out on set and go up to people, introduce yourself and tell them who you are and how you can help. And even if you're working for free for the first 2 years, that has really what
allowed you to learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you doing a lot of DP work?
I am. Yeah. I would say I currently within the past 2 years, I've done more DP gaffer work than I have acting work, which I'm okay with because I have learned that I also love that side of the camera. And when it comes to DPing and gaffing, that has now fallen pretty on even ground with my love for acting. So I love both of those sides, and those departments would now be my favorite.
Have you had any projects where you're in as an, say you're in the gaffer side of things or DP side of things, and you're able to jump in as an actor on one day, then jump back into crew?
Yes, I have done that on a few of them, and that's been fun. I do enjoy that as well. That's one thing to where my brain's kind of traveling at 1,000 miles per hour at that point, because I'm like in the character, and then also in between breaks of non-rolling time, I'll be like, all right, could we move this light over here? I want to shape this light over around the face that way a little bit, and let's make that more of a kicker than a side profile, and then the whole shebang of that.
You're acting and you look at yourself on the monitor and you really could use a little more negative fill over here, people.
Yeah, let's get a little more catch there.
Well, that's cool that you've gone that route. And maybe it's just the pictures I see, but you have actually gotten a chance to DP some projects, right?
Yeah, it's been great, and I have enjoyed it quite a bit. Most recently, I've been working as second unit director / second unit DP for Adventures in Iggy with Mr. Kirk.
Cool.
And that is Kirk Cameron's new kids show.
Wow, that's
And
cool.
That has been a lot of fun. So I've been filming for all of second unit on that. And actually, this Thursday, we will be wrapping the last scene of both season 1 and 2.
So you live in Texas, right? Or is he shooting all that in Texas?
Yeah, so the main portion of it, all of first unit, was shot last summer. And they shot 2 seasons basically back to back this past summer. And so now we're just wrapping up on the second unit stuff. And that'll be done this week.
That's exciting, man. So I had a friend, and I'll tell you this story and tell me if you've seen the kind of the same thing. That some advice I've heard is if you want to be a director, even if you're starting out low, be a director, right? If you want to be a DP, be a DP. Take the gaff jobs where you can, but be a DP every chance you get. And the story that kind of is behind that is a DP I love working with. He was in his mid-30s and struggling to get DP work, not because he wasn't a great DP, but because he was. It was because he was such a great key grip. So this guy was the key grip on The Walking Dead. And so he's making stupid money, great money, and the biggest TV show in the country. And so it was really hard for him to turn down these big key grip jobs, because it's on the biggest show in the country, to go, work his way up into the DP role. So the advice for young people that I've heard is make sure you become a DP as early as possible, or you can get stuck in a role that you like and you're great at, but maybe is not your ultimate goal.
Yeah, definitely. Which is also one of those balances, because then you're at the point of like, okay, if I take that job, I can get some more money. I could invest that in more gear, and then maybe I can put that into my roster of DP work and bring that along with me. And then there's that balance of like, okay, where do
That's
I
the fun balance, right? Is going, I don't want to get too stuck in that, but boy, I could make some money. And like you say, get myself a new rig or whatever. I was talking to Jared O'Flaherty here. I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah, he's great.
That's my boy. And he was saying, how, look, on Vindication, as beautifully cinematically shot as that is, they're shooting it on Blackmagic Pocket Cinemas. So, which is accessible to most all of us. It's really about how you use the gear as much as...
Is season 4 shot on Blackmagic?
Did you see the trailer?
Wow, yes.
I that's what I asked him, man. I was like,
very cool.
You guys have stepped it up, have you? He goes, nope, season 4 was shot on Blackmagic just like the rest of them. I'm like, well, your DP is... He was always good, but he's leveled up.
Yeah, that's very cool. Did he say whether they're still using anamorphic? Because I believe, I don't know if it was season 2 or 3, but they switched to anamorphic, and that was a nice...
That's a big part of it. Yeah, the anamorphic lenses. And I know you DPs, you guys love the anamorphic, and they are beautiful. They are definitely beautiful.
Yeah, when it fits the project, I am very happy to use anamorphic lenses.
You got a whole kit that's your own. You don't have to rent, right?
Not yet.
It's coming.
Anamorphics. But yes.
Well, sorry for those listening for us nerding out too much into the gear talk, but that's how you know you've got a DP who's born to be a DP. Is he gets really excited when you start talking about the word anamorphic lens. That's a...
Yeah, I could talk about gear for hours, so just cut me off now, otherwise the floodgates will open.
Let's go. So what's your favorite type of stuff to shoot? I mean, obviously narrative is always more fun, but I'm guessing you also have to, like the rest of us, get out into the commercial world and be more expositional with our storytelling at times.
Right, yeah. I would say my favorite thing to shoot would definitely be the moody, dramatic, action style narrative. But I've also been blessed to work with Sparrow Pictures the past few years and film a couple of documentaries with them. And I've really enjoyed filming documentaries as well. And there's not pros and cons to each, but there's nice things about film, which is being able to be very artistic and tell a story in a scene. But it's also really nice and laid back on a documentary shoot, being able to set up your angles. You can still have fun with the lighting, making it look moody and stuff. I got to work on one called State of Denial with Sparrow Pictures. And Matt Thayer and Joy Thayer, they are fantastic with their work, and they make amazing documentaries. So I definitely check those out on Rumble or X. Yeah, and those are great. And I've really enjoyed working on documentaries with them. And it's really fun to work on documentaries because you don't have as much of the hustle and bustle as you do with narrative film. Sometimes it can get a little bit tense on narrative projects just with how much you're trying to cram in because there's a lot.
Yeah, with narrative, you got to make your day, right? You got that Joth Riggs type yelling at you to get this stuff done and get it done because we got to make our day. But with documentary, the narrative, you're telling a story. With documentary, you are finding that story.
Yeah.
Right. That's the key is the story is here somewhere. I'm going to find it. And that's kind of the exciting part, right? You don't really know what you're going to get in the documentary until your subject starts talking. And then it gets really exciting because you know that story's there.
There's more surprises with documentaries.
Yeah.
It's not all scripted.
Because you're finding
It's
it.
entertaining to be in that seat, even though it can be for a long time in a day listening to one person talk. It's like every now and then you'll get a little bit of a, whoa, that happened? And this is real? That's crazy.
That is awesome.
FAF Association hosts its first Filmmakers Boot Camp on July 27th. 9 workshops. That's right, 9. 3 for actors, 3 for screenwriters, and 3 for producers. Registrants are able to access all the recordings of all 9 workshops with instructors Venus Monique, Jared O'Flaherty, Nathan Blair, Trey and Ariel Fernald, and more. Plus, organized networking to connect you with other like-minded filmmakers. Level up with confidence this summer. Save your seat now for FAF Association's Filmmakers Boot Camp. Go to FAFFassociation.com and click on Filmmakers Boot Camp in the menu bar. Link is also in the show notes.
I saw you were in a shot with Riley Gaines, so you're like talking to the biggest influencer, right?
That was a fun one. That one was filmed up at the Bible Museum in DC. That was nice. That was a fun one. That was also with Sparrow Pictures.
If you guys have not been to the Bible Museum, that is one of the coolest experiences in DC. My kids even like that better than anything else in DC, so to get to go shoot something up there is pretty amazing.
It is so cool. Such a cool place there. I got a day when I was up in DC filming that I got to just go explore. I got a pass into the Bible Museum after filming there, and it was great just getting to go around and look at everything for hours.
Did you do the Old Testament experience?
Yes.
That's so cool, isn't it?
That was pretty cool.
Do you feel like you're in the mind of God telling you the story? It's so amazing, so cool.
And all the lighting and visuals they built into that. I guess it would be a walkthrough experience. It's very cool.
It's hard to describe. In fact, when I was in there, I was thinking, I wonder if this is kind of the future of cinema, right? Instead of always just looking on something on a flat screen, literally walking through it immersively.
That would be pretty cool.
Pretty amazing.
That's like you got 3D, you got 4D, and now we need 5D.
5D, yeah. We're going on all the dimensions. Exactly. We'll watch movies on a tesseract. I don't even know what that is. Well, let me ask you this. You have actually a better perspective on this than I would because I'm just an old guy. But for your generation, I worry sometimes that the long-form narrative film, feature film, is in some jeopardy because things like TikTok and Reels and things I see it in my own kids. They have a harder time being patient for a 90-minute to 120-minute story to be told. We all want it to be told so quickly and so kind of, I hate to say it, but cheaply. So do you think there is, moving forward to your generation, is there space out there for narrative to still succeed?
I mean, it'll always be around. There's always a place for movies, but it is weird though, because it's almost the mentality of marketing. Because it's a funny thing. I don't remember who I heard it from, but it's that concept of, would you watch a 9-hour movie? Heck no. I would not watch a 9-hour movie. That's ridiculous. oh, well, would you watch 9 one-hour episodes straight on this new TV show and just binge it through the whole day? Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's based off of how you market it. And
It's the plate you put it on.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right about that. That's funny because on one hand, we feel like we're competing with 90-second TikToks, but on the other hand, like you said, a whole season of a show is much more popular now than a feature film, right?
yeah, there's definitely a rise of television that we're in the midst of.
I think because cinematically, it's so hard to get a successful theatrical launch unless you are a Marvel movie.
Right.
And so cinema, especially independent cinema, is moving to the small screen, which is fun as long as the format of storytelling can survive, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those things to where putting a movie in a movie theater costs a lot of money, and that takes an additional budget on top of the budget of the film.
Right.
And with a TV show to where you aren't putting it in a movie theater, there's not that obstacle there,
Right.
especially with indie film.
And if you can monetize the small screen, you're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had $250,000 stolen from me one time trying to put a movie on the big screen. So it's sharks are everywhere, brother. Sharks are everywhere. So what do you see? What's your future? In the perfect world, what are you making 5 years from now?
I would say I would love to just be doing the same thing, making more money at this time, because I love what I do. I would just like
Just wanted to allow to eat.
Yeah, I would like to buy a house within 5 to 10 years and be able to pay for that off of the life that I am loving living.
Well, I think you're on the way right now. I mean, you're at 21, being where you are. Like I said, I hope parents who want their kids to get involved in this are bookmarking this episode, because you're not going to find many 21-year-olds who have done as much, who have the right attitude, who've done all the right things. Credit to God, credit to Jeff and Kristen, and credit to you for doing all the right things to get to where you are today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I can't give credit at all to me, because it's definitely my parents, God, and a lot of other great influences in the industry that have helped me be where I am today.
A lot of toil, a lot of sweat. Okay, so here's what we should do. We should plan on, I'm gonna write and direct a film. I want you to DP, and you got to bring Joth Riggs out, and bring your little sister as an actor, and we'll make this a pretty fantastic film. How about that?
I am 100% in. Let's do it, man.
Let's go. Once again, Zach, we appreciate you joining us on the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast, and we'll have you back eventually. I want you to get a couple of years behind you, and let's recap the last couple of years and see what you've done and see where you've grown from here.
All right, man. We'll circle back. This will be fun.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for listening to the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast. If you've been enjoying this podcast, take a moment to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to support the production of this podcast, you can leave a tip at faffpodcast.com/support. Bringing filmmakers together for faith and family.